Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it is December 28th today. It is the end of the year 2017. How did this year go by so quickly? I have no idea. Somehow when you're older, the years roll by much quicker than you were younger and you wish time flew by faster. It's some sort of a really weird paradox. Anyway, so continuing from a tradition that I started last year, I wanted to go through my makeup favorites with you. Actually, not only makeup favorites, this year I have added the category skincare product and perfume, but the whole idea is that I select one, possibly product per category, because I think that's a little bit the challenge, to really think about what did I gravitate towards the most, what did I really like. Sometimes I find it very difficult because it's like picking my favorite child. I can't really pick this one over the other one. I don't have children, so that's really a stupid comparison, but that's what I would imagine people with children struggle with, which one is their favorite. And of course, theoretically none of them should be their favorite. I don't know why I'm going on this tangent right now. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling. To wrap up this introduction, I'm going to go through each of my makeup favorites of the year and talk a little bit about it, maybe do a little bit of swatchy swatch. Okay, so the first product I want to talk about is an eyeshadow base, and the eyeshadow base that I show you this year is also my favorite from last year, and that is the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Extend Eye Base, which comes in this squeezy tube, and mine is actually almost finished. I guess the reason this is my favorite again is because, like I said, I haven't even finished the tube yet, and I'm really trying to go through it so that I can start on the next one that I have, and it remains my favorite because I reach for it every day and I really enjoy using it. Really nothing to say more about this primer than it just really does its job. It enhances eyeshadows, eyeshadows can be blended over it, it extends their lifespan, because on my eyeballs everything creases if I don't put eyeshadow primer or if I don't use the right eyeshadow primer, and with this thing my eyeshadows really stay in place for 10 plus hours. So there's nothing more to want from an eyeshadow primer, which is why this one remains my favorite also for this year. I feel like I'm talking too fast. Am I talking too fast? I'll slow down. My next favorite product of the year is in the category brows. Favorite brow product of the year is the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in Ebony. This is the packaging. The product comes with two different shades inside. The packaging is really luxurious and really pretty. The product comes with two sides, a little bit deeper one and a little bit lighter one. It is a little bit warmer than I would have liked. I think maybe I will try granite next time, although I've been going at this for like a year and you can see there is a pretty solid amount of product in here, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is also my favorite of the year 2018, just because it's just never going to finish, I feel like. So the product in the next category is also something that I talked about last year, and that is the Skin Food Dark Circle Eye Concealer Salmon The Skin Food Salmon Dark Circle Concealer Cream, which looks like this. It comes in this pot. It kind of has a peachy tone to it and it works really well for my under eyes. I've mentioned this a couple of times before that I struggle quite a lot with all the other mainstream brand concealers that are on the market. It's the only concealer that really works for me. Everything else that I have tried kind of really dries my under eyes very severely, like to the point where I apply it and 3 seconds later I just can see all the moisture being sucked out from my skin. So I will continue using this product. If I ever find something that works just as well, I will let you know, but for now this works really well. It's inexpensive, it hasn't been discontinued to my knowledge, so I will just continue repurchasing it and talking about it in my yearly and monthly favorites because I love it. The next category is single eyeshadow, and this year I'm going to give single eyeshadow to the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadows, which look like this, and I don't know whether you are aware of these, but they're basically like a liquid cream eyeshadow that is packed with glitter. This one is my personal favorite, by the way. This is the shade Kitten Karma. I have a bunch of the other neutral shades and also 2 of the duochromes. Can you see how beautiful and reflective that is? These are probably the most foolproof glitter eyeshadow that I have ever come across with. They're super easy to work with. You just swipe them on your eyelids. Make sure to do your blending work before that and apply these last. However, as far as glitter eyeshadow goes, I think these are probably the best that I've come across on the market. Okay, the next category is indie eyeshadow, and for those of you who know, I've been struggling quite a lot with my indie collection this year just because it has exploded tremendously in the past 1 or 2 years. I found myself a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of shadows and the different colors and textures, and so with that being said, I was kind of struggling a little bit with which eyeshadow to pick, just because also with indie eyeshadows there are so many that picking just one favorite is always incredibly difficult, which is why I'm not going to give it to one eyeshadow in particular, but I'm going to give it to like a whole category of eyeshadows, and those are the mattes from Notoriously Morbid. So the matte shadows from Notoriously Morbid are all in one collection. It's called the Slay Me collection, and I think those are the most amazing mattes on the market. Not just in the indie makeup world, but in the whole makeup world, period. Those are the most pigmented, blendable, beautiful mattes I have ever come across, and they also come in a variety of really beautiful shades. I just wanted to show you one of my personal favorites here, which is Mayor Monster. Mayor Monster is a beautiful deep olivey forest green. It looks like this. This is a swatch here for Mayor Monster. It is one of my absolute favorite matte eyeshadows from Notoriously Morbid, but I highly recommend checking out the whole range because they are all amazing. Next category is the one that I had the most trouble with, and that is Eyeshadow Palette. And whew, if you've been around for a while, you knew that for some time okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 3 contenders that I have and which one I picked in the end and why. So the first contender I want to talk about is the one that I've also been talking about like a broken record ever since I got it, and that is the Naked Heat palette from Urban Decay. This is how she looks like. This is the first Naked palette that I have ever been interested in the whole Naked range. You know, I'm an Urban Decay junkie and I pretty much want to own everything that I've ever made. That being said, I've never had any interest in owning any of the Naked palettes until this one came along. The reason I love this eyeshadow palette so much is not because it's groundbreaking in terms of colors or in terms of formulations. We all know Urban Decay can make good eyeshadows, so why should that be any different with the Naked Heat palette? What I really enjoy about this palette is that those are my kind of neutral shades. I absolutely love everything with orange and reddish tones to it, and this eyeshadow palette is basically packed with these kind of tones, which is why I think I really enjoyed this eyeshadow palette so much. Next contender that I had in my mind was the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. As soon as the promo photos for this eyeshadow palette were released, I literally gasped when I saw the pictures because the shade range is so beautiful and so absolutely unique. Bravo Anastasia Beverly Hills for coming out with such innovative, such beautiful, well thought through, unique products. I have a lot of respect for companies which step out of their comfort zone and are ready to challenge the makeup world with something a little more unique, a little bit more out of the box, and I really appreciate that about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I know this palette caused a lot of controversy in the makeup world. Personally, I didn't really feel like this was called for. I think it was a little bit over the top. I think that it started a new trend on YouTube, which is like this negativity and like jumping on the train of negativity to gain more views. I don't want to talk about it because maybe I'll save that for another video when I talk about things that really irritate me on YouTube. But I do really like this eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadows are... This is not a palette that I would recommend to someone who doesn't have more or less advanced skills when it comes to makeup, just because especially the deeper mattes over here, they're a little bit more challenging to work with, in the sense that you have to be very careful how much product you apply and you need to work in increments. You need to just work with these eyeshadows a little bit more carefully. And the final and third contender that I have is the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. Now, very interesting because this eyeshadow palette and we didn't have an instant click. It was not love at first sight. Last year, the Metal Matte palette and we just had an instant connection. It was like one of those things that was just meant to be. If I ever, you know, died and was reborn as an eyeshadow palette, I feel like the Metal Matte palette from Kat Von D would be something that I could be reincarnated in. When I saw this palette, like also the promo photos just before it was even released, I didn't really think that I had any interest in it. Then I started looking at videos, and I think there was a video from Kat Von D herself swatching the eyeshadow palette. That is what really changed my mind, and I decided to pick it up. Maybe I can open it and show you guys. I've talked a little bit about this palette in my Kat Von D Saint and Sinner collab video with Amber, where we did 3 eyeshadow looks with this palette. So this is how the palette looks like on the inside, and the thing that threw me off a little bit in the beginning was the seemingly very random distribution of colors. This is not an eyeshadow palette where you look at it and you instantly have 20 looks in mind. It just takes a little bit longer. With that being said, I want to give best eyeshadow palette of the year to this palette. And the reason for that being that this is the kind of eyeshadow palette that is a challenge, that really makes you go out of your comfort zone, try exploring new things, try thinking outside of the box, try really thinking about which colors you're going to combine. And the thing is that I found myself making really beautiful color combinations, and I think some of my favorite makeup looks of the past year have come out of this palette, which is why I want to give it best palette, because while I really enjoy the other 2 eyeshadow palettes, I don't think the color combinations that I created from them were something super special. However, with these guys, I feel like I've created some of my most favorite looks of the past year. So best eyeshadow palette of the year goes to the Saint and Sinner palette from Kat Von D. Moving on to best eyeliner of the year, that one is a very clear favorite for me, and that is the Physicians Formula 2-in-1 Eye Booster in Deep Brown. This eyeliner is probably what I would call the closest dupe to the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper. Okay, Trooper is black, this one is deep brown. Basically, the idea is the same. You get a beautiful brush tip, very fine brush tip applicator. I really love this eyeliner, especially the deep brown color is absolutely beautiful. I am someone who very often does colorful eyeliners. I don't always enjoy black eyeliner so much, and I really wanted to have something in my collection that is brown, not so brown that it looks black, but really brown, and this is beautiful. I highly recommend trying the best glitter product of the year, and that will have to go absolutely without any doubt to the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liners. The one that I've picked to show you here as my favorite of the year is Distortion. I hesitated a little bit between this one and Midnight Cowboy. Midnight Cowboy is the Goldie version. I picked Distortion because I feel like Distortion describes me personally better. I'm someone who enjoys the blue-green tones more, and I reached for this glitter liner a lot in the past year. I really like dabbing these in the center of my lid, or just a little bit as an accent on the lower lash line. The next category is pencil liner, and in this category I have selected the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade Hot Chocolate. This is actually my second hot chocolate because I went through the first one like a mofo and I had to buy another one. These are from the brand Essence, so they're also really inexpensive. This is such a beautiful brown. It costs 99 cents and it is super pigmented, it is super creamy, and I just love it. Highly recommend. Next category is mascara, and I want to talk about the mascara that has absolutely blown my mind this year, and that is the Kiko Extra Sculpt Volume Mascara. It comes in this super funky, futuristic, angled packaging. I personally think this is a really cool packaging, especially given the fact that it's a really inexpensive mascara. I think the full price of this is around 9 euros. This is the type of mascara that just does things to my lashes. I'm not super fond of the hourglass wand of this, just because this super fat part here makes it a bit difficult to get into the lashes that are towards the inner corner. But with that being said, I love the formula of this. It's not too dry, it's not too wet, it adds volume and it adds length, and I just absolutely adore this mascara. Okay, the next category is face primer, and this is the year I discovered that I don't really need face primer with my foundation, because with or without it, the foundation that I love using the most works just fine. So I've decided to save myself the money from buying face primer from now on, and I'm just going to be buying my favorite foundation. Speaking of favorite foundation, that remains my Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. Actually, you know, the double wear range, generally speaking, I really like the original double wear as well. What I look for in a foundation is that it stays really well throughout the day, because I work like 8-10 hours a day and I really don't want to look like a greasy mess in the end of the day, and this foundation just really does it for me, so I don't need another one ever in my life. And now that I found out I don't need to spend money on primer, I'm even happier. My favorite powder of the year is the Rms Beauty Gun Powder. Looks like this. Comes in this blindingly white packaging, and it's basically like a white translucent powder. From what I understand, this powder is just pure silica. Yeah, the only ingredients in here are silica and mica. So if your skin is anything like mine and it's a little bit greasy and you have enlarged pores, I think this is your powder. The only thing that I don't like about it is that because it's white, sometimes it leaves like a really white cast on my face, and especially in the summer it just really doesn't work for me. So I wish this powder would come in like a tinted formula. Okay, so the next two products that I want to talk about are bronzers, and I've decided to split it in two categories: summer bronzer and winter bronzer, just because I feel like in the summer and in the winter I kind of gravitate towards different colors. My favorite winter bronzer is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I'm sure you've heard of this bronzer because everyone and their mama has been talking about it ever since it has come out on the market. It looks like this. This is, I'm going to swatch it for you. So this is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer right here. It is a beautiful matte bronzer. It smells divine of cocoa, and the only thing I have to say about this bronzer is that I really need to be careful with the amounts that I apply on my face, because I think this is probably a shade darker than I should have bought, and if I apply too much it goes south really fast. So I just need to be careful with it. Otherwise, beautiful bronzer. My other favorite bronzer, and the one that I've used pretty much most of the year ever since I bought it, is the Sunkissed bronzer from Makeup Geek. You can already tell the dip that I've put in this bronzer because I've been using it so much. It's also the bronzer that I have on my face today. This is a somewhat more mustardy, yellowy based bronzer. It's also a little bit lighter in tone than the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. Another difference is that this bronzer is not totally matte. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, which I really prefer, especially in the summer. I feel like it gives you a really healthy, beautiful glow. So yes, Makeup Geek and Too Faced for bronzer. My favorite blush of the year remains the Too Faced Love Flush Blush in Baby Love. I only have this palette over here with all the different Love Flush blushes, and I've talked about this before. These still remain my favorite blush formula. There's something about the formula of this there's something about the formula of these blushes that just works pretty well with my skin, and I absolutely adore them. If I have to pick one favorite though, this would be this shade over here, which is called Baby Love. Okay, now we go to one of my favorite categories, which is highlighter, and I've split highlighter into single and a palette. And my favorite single highlighter of the year, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Makeup Geek highlighter in the shade Psychedelic. I've talked about this highlighter several times on several occasions in favorites videos, in makeup tutorials. I adore this highlighter. It's one of their duochrome highlighters, and it has the most beautiful peachy red sheen to it. I always fail to show how beautiful this is in a swatch, just because if you look at it like this in the pan and the light doesn't hit it the right way, you can't really see the true beauty of this. So this is Psychedelic over here. Let's see if we can... Yeah, I'm not really sure you can see it, but goddamn, buy this highlighter, trust me, you need it. In the category of favorite highlighter palette, I think it's going to be a huge shock and surprise to all of you who've been around my makeup channel for a while that I've picked the Anastasia Aurora palette. Not at all, really. I fucking adore this highlighter palette. It is my probably favorite makeup release of this past year. If I had to pick what my favorite release of the year has been, it has to be Aurora, because this highlighter palette just blew my mind. It comes with 6 duochrome highlighters in like a variety of shades. It looks a little bit scary when you look at it because, I don't know, this one looks really dark, this one's blue. Trust me, the most beautiful, wearable, and I don't like the term wearable, but it's not difficult to wear is what I mean, highlighters that you've ever come across. My personal favorite, as you probably know by now, is this shade over here, which is called Lyra, which is once again a peachy highlighter. I don't know whether... I'm going to try to swatch it right next to Psychedelic. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my god. The formula of Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit highlighters is probably my favorite highlighter formula ever, I found out, because it's not for everyone. They're very foiled, they're very metallic, they're very impactful, but personally I really enjoy that in a highlighter. So for me, not only this Glow Kit, but all the Glow Kits from Anastasia are recommended 100%. But Aurora in particular is just such a gem, and I think it's such a shame that people on YouTube never talk about this palette. Okay, next category is favorite makeup setting spray of the year, and that is my Urban Decay Quick Fix. Is that the whole name? Okay, let's do this. Urban Decay Quick Fix Hydro Charged Complexion Prep Priming Spray with niacinamide, coconut water, and Septi Tonic M3. Whatever the fuck that is. So I really like this spray, not only as a prepping spray but also as a setting spray. What I really enjoy about it is that the mist is much finer than the one on Prep and Prime by MAC. For some reason I can never make the bottle of Prep and Prime have such a fine mist as these guys. As an added bonus, this smells like delicious coconut. Everything that smells like coconut is a yes in my book. Another category that I think I didn't have last year is favorite makeup brushes, and I'm going to split this into favorite eye brush and favorite face brush. My favorite face brush is yet again something I've talked about in favorites videos before, and that is the Spectrum A4 brush. It looks like this. It is a slightly tapered brush that you can use for a variety of things, but what I use it for is for application of eye highlighter, because I just feel like it's just perfect for that. It kind of has like this slanted side here, so it lies perfectly on your cheekbones and it just blends the product so nicely, and it's super soft and it's super cute because Spectrum brushes are really beautiful. My favorite eyeshadow brush, like eye brush, is the Zoeva Luxe Defined Crease brush, which looks like this. This is a brush that looks really funky because it kind of has this like top here, which looks like it's been cut with scissors. That's the purpose of the I guess that's on purpose, but what I really love this brush for is the fact that it just fits in your crease beautifully. So when you want to take a little bit of color, but you don't want the color to be too concentrated in your crease and you want to buff it out with a brush that it's not too huge, this is the brush for you. It sits perfectly in your crease and it blends just a little bit above the crease without going way too far, and I absolutely love this brush. My favorite lip liner is also from Essence, also really inexpensive, and I think you can judge by the size of what is left of it how much I've loved this lip liner. This one is in the shade Femme Fatale, just enough of the knob left for you to see the name. This is a really pretty pinkish red. This is the color right here. It is super creamy, it is super pigmented, and it works with a variety of different red, reddish pink, even hot pink lipsticks. I suck at applying really pigmented lipsticks without lip liner, and I'm really grateful that Essence made these gorgeous, beautiful lip liners. The next category is liquid lipsticks, and I want to preface this by saying that this is the year that I kind of broke up with liquid lipstick, because I really tried liking liquid lipsticks. I think that there is something about liquid lipsticks that is an undeniable advantage, and that is the fact that they stay so long and they stay put for such a long amount of time, unlike regular lipsticks. Although that is a point we can argue, because I think nowadays bullet lipsticks stay just as well as liquid lipsticks. Not going to ramble too much about it. I've stopped buying liquid lipsticks at the moment, but in the beginning of the year and all throughout the year there has been one clear favorite, a lipstick that I even have a backup of, and that is Jeffree Star's Pumpkin Pie. I'm not really sure you can get this lipstick anymore because unfortunately it was a limited edition. It is the most gorgeous pumpkin color with pink sparkles in it. This is the color. It is the most gorgeous deep pumpkiny orange. I adore it. and when it dries a little bit and you start pressing your lips together, the pink sparkles come out and it is absolutely stunning. The next category obviously will be bullet lipsticks, and in this category my favorites remain the Urban Decay Vice lipstick range. It's very hard to pick a favorite color from there just because I have a number of colors and I use those all the time without gravitating towards one color in particular, but I have to say shades of the Urban Decay Vice lipstick range that I really enjoy are their reds, and in particular this one over here in the shade Bad Blood. This is the most perfect red lipstick, dudes. There's nothing quite like it. Look how deep and how gorgeous and how stunning. When you apply this on your lips, you feel like a goddess. I want to add a new category to my favorite lip products, and that is lip gloss. I've never had a favorite lip gloss before because I just have always really disliked lip gloss, but ever since I discovered the Anastasia lip glosses, I found out that I actually really enjoy wearing lip glosses on occasion. I still will keep it to really neutral shades and things that are not going to smudge all over your face and look disgusting. My favorite of the year is definitely the shade Vintage. I've spoken about this also before in favorites videos. I think it's the most beautiful dusty rose color that will look gorgeous on pretty much everyone. So this right here is Vintage. I think this looks stunning on pretty much everyone. It is super comfortable, they're not sticky, they make your lips really plumpy and juicy, and I just absolutely love this lip gloss. The last makeup product favorite that I have for this year are lip balms, and my favorite lip balms again are the notoriously morbid Night Kiss lip balms. They come in a variety of different scents. My personal favorite is the Vanilla Veil. They look like this. I recommend going on the Notoriously Morbid website and just going through all the different scents, picking one and trying them, because these are amazing. I have one in my bag, I have one in my nightstand, I have one here in my makeup drawer because I use them all the time. I highly recommend. And now going to the two new categories that I have this year. And those are favorite skincare product and favorite perfume. My favorite skincare product of the year is the Paula's Choice Clinical 1% Retinol Treatment. With a lot of skincare products, I can never really tell whether they really make such a huge difference for my skin or not, and with this product I could clearly tell that it really makes a difference for my pores, for the overall condition of my skin. And my favorite perfume of the year is from Lancome, and it is the La Vie est Belle newest edition called L'Eclat, I think. This is me in perfume. If like I could die and be reborn as perfume, it would be this perfume. It is the most perfect thing I've ever smelled. It starts off with a little bit of a punch from bergamot and orange blossom and ends with sandalwood and vanilla, which is basically me in a perfume. I absolutely love it. It also stays really well on my skin, which is of course another added bonus from a perfume, because not all perfumes are equal in that respect. Anyway, so I want to wish you a happy and healthy 2018. Those were all my favorites for the past year. Let me know what yours were. Thank you so much for watching. Let's continue chatting about makeup also in the new year, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!